Hey, 6th grade. So this is lesson 8, day 5. So you're going to do some more practice dividing multi-digit numbers, and this will help you get ready for the lesson 8 quiz. So here's the thing. Your book should be on page 90 through 91. If not, go get it. You are going to work on 1 through 6 on page 90 and 91 by yourself. As soon as you're done, restart the video and watch and go over it with me and make any corrections. All right, get started now. Okay, so you should be done with numbers 1 through 6. So as I go over these, make sure you're watching, make sure you're listening, make sure you're making corrections. So number 1, it says, Charlotte read a 608-page book in 16 hours last month. How many pages per hour was that? So if you are taking 608 pages total and splitting them over 16 hours, that's a division problem. So I'm going to start and I'm going to do that division. Now, first off, do you see how all the answers are really different? That means I can maybe do some estimating to get close here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 600 divided by 20. And if I do that, I know 6 divided by 2 is 3. This 0 cancels this 0, so I just add that 0 is 30. So my answer should be somewhere close to 30. Now the only one that's close to 30 is A, so I think that's going to be it. I think the other ones are far away, but I'll go through and I'll check it just in case. So 608 divided by 16. So I'm going to start off, I know 16, 32, 48, 64 is too high. So now 16 goes into 60 3 times, which is 48. 60 minus 48 is 12, bring down the 8. Now 16 into 128, let me continue. So this will be 80, 96, 112, 128. So it's going to go 8 times, which is 128. Subtract 0, so it is a 38. So you see how estimating was able to get me close, and I could have actually solved it without doing that division. Now, number 2 says, there are 3,072 books in the school library. If 96 students team up to read all the books and each student reads the same number of books, how many books would each student need to read? So, basically, these 3,072 books are being split up by these 96 students, and each student reads the same amount. So that's how you know it's going to be division. All right, so first, maybe I can do some estimating. So if I estimate that, I can round it to about 3,000 divided by 96 is about 100. Okay, and if I do that, I know 300 divided by 100 is 3, and then I just need to add that 0 to get 30. So my answer is going to be close to 30. So I can eliminate A and D, but I can't eliminate either of these two. So I know it's going to be B or C. All right, you ready? Let's start with a division. So 3,072 divided by 96. Now you want to see a trick? See how both answers start with a 3? So I know 96 is going to go into 307 3 times. So I'm going to do 96 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. So that's going to be 288. Now, let me do some subtraction. 17 minus 8 is 9, 9 minus 8 is 1, bring down the 2. Now, looking over here, it's either going to be 2 or 0, right? So I think it's going to be 2. 96 times 2. 2 times 6 is 12, 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So it's going to be 2, 192, subtract. The correct answer is B. If you had it right, give yourself a C. But notice, I used estimation to eliminate 2 of my 4 answers. All right, so let's go down to 3. Ooh, true and false ones. All right, this says a farmer needs to pack 2,903 apples into crates to ship to supermarkets. Each crate can hold only 30 apples. Choose true and false for each statement. All right, before I'm looking at those choices, I'm thinking I need to do some division first before I can answer these questions. So what I'm going to do, let me clear away the work from 2, is I'm going to start by doing the division. So what he's doing is he's splitting up his 2,903 apples into 30 apple groups because each crate can hold 30 apples. So let me divide that real quick. Oops, 30 goes into 2,903. All right, so 30 doesn't go into 2 or 29. It will go into 290. Now remember, 30 times 10 is 300, which is too big, right? And you can't go 10 times anyway. So it's going to be 30 times 9. Now that's mental math because 3 times 9 is 27. Add the 0. Now, when I subtract, I get 20. Bring down the 3. Now 30 is going to go in. I know 30 times 7 is 210 because it's 21, add the 0. So 30 times 6, 3 times 6 is 18, add the 0. It's going to be 6, which is 180. Subtract. I get 23. All right. So now let's think about what this means. This means if it says how many, each crate can hold only 30 apples. So if they were to ship it with 96 crates, there would be 23 apples left over. All right, so let's go through here. A says the farmer can ship all the apples using 96 crates. That is false, because that remainder of 23 means there would be 23 apples left over. B says the farmer can ship all the apples using 97 crates. That is true, because if he does one extra crate, he'll have enough for those 23 leftover apples. C says at least one of the crates will not be filled to capacity. That is true, because if you do 96 crates, there's 96 full crates, and that 97th crate is only going to have 23 apples in it. All right? And D says to determine the number of crates needed, divide 2,903 by 30. That is true, because that's what we just did. All right, so one division problem, we solved all 4 of those problems. All right, let's go to number 4. In each box, write the appropriate digit to complete the division algorithm. Interesting. All right, so it's a 3-digit divisor. All right, let me see here. So 256 didn't go into 2, it didn't go into 20-something, it didn't go into 200-something 8, so it went into 2000. Okay, so how do we start this one? Okay, well, I'm going to start because I would do the subtraction first. So let's start. If we were subtracting this number minus this number. All right, so first thing you would do would be 3 minus 4, which you can't do. So you'd borrow from the 8, make it a 7, make this a 13. 13 minus 4 is 9, 7 minus 0 is 7, and something minus 3 is 1. Now I'm assuming that's 4, because 4 minus 3 is 1, and there was nothing borrowed from the 2. All right, so I'm assuming that would be it. And then you would bring down the 5. Now, you had to say 256 went into 1,795 however many times, but whatever you multiply 256 by times this number has to equal 1,792. All right, so let's see if we can figure this one out. So I know 256 times 10 would be 2,560, which is higher than that. All right, so I could do a little bit of guess and checking. How about times 7? So 256 times 7. 7 times 6 is 42. Carry the 4. 7 times 5 is 35. Plus 4 is 39. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 3 is 17. Hey, I got it. So this up here, this box at the top, will be a 7, which gives me 1,792. And then I subtract. 5 minus 3 is, or 5 minus 2 is 3. So, did you get all of those boxes? Did you get a 7 here, a 4 here, a 5 here, and a 3 here? Okay. If you didn't, you could always rewind the video to see, again, how I figured out those digits. Okay, let's go on to page 91. 91 says, an elementary school received a donation of $1,000. The school has 4 kindergarten classes and 3 classes each in grades 1 through 6. Can the money be divided equally among the classes? Explain. All right, so there's $1,000 being split up by something, okay? So we have to figure out how many classes there are. So the school has 4 kindergarten classes and 3 classes each in grades 1 through 6. So first grade has 3 classes. Second grade has 3 classes. Third grade has 3 classes. Fourth grade has 3 classes. Fifth grade has 3 classes. And sixth grade has 3 classes. So if I add these up, oops, that should be a 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So there's 22 classes. Okay. Now, I don't know. Maybe it can be. I don't think, because I think 1,000 can only be divided by like a number that ends in a 0 or 5 evenly. So I think because 22 doesn't end in a 0 or 5, it's not going to be able to. But what do you say we check it out? So let me do 1,000 divided by 22. So 22 goes into 100 4 times, which is 88. 100 minus 88 is 12. Bring down the 0. So 22 goes 5 times into 120. So if I do 22 times 5, that's 10. That's 11. Subtract, I'm going to have 10 left over. So can the money be divided equally among the classes? That answer would be no. So when I explain it, I'm going to say, if you divide $1,000 among 22 classes, you will have a remainder. Okay, that's number 5. Make any corrections, pause the video if you need to. All right, you ready for the last one? Number 6. The seating capacity of a basketball stadium is 5,782. The seats are arranged in 24 sections of the same size. Any seats that are left over from the 24 sections are called priority seating. How many seats are called priority seating? Ooh, interesting. So let's think of this. There are 5,782 people who can fit in that stadium. That's the seating capacity. And the seats are arranged in 24 equal sections. So that means those 5,782 seats are going to be divided into 24 groups. So any seats that are left over will be priority seating. So when it says how many seats are called priority seating, they are actually looking for the remainder of this problem. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to split the 5,782 people among the 24 sections. Now, our quotient up here is going to be how many people will be in each of those sections. So let's start by doing a little bit of division. I'll do a counting by list. 24, 48, 72, 96, 120. Now, 24 doesn't go into 5, but it goes into 57 twice, which is 48. 57 minus 48 is 9. Bring down the 8. Okay, now 24 goes 4 times into 98, which is 96. Subtract and bring down the 2. Now 24 goes 0 times into 22, which is 0. So that means the remainder is the answer to this question. It says how many seats are called priority seating. So there will be, does it say to explain? There'll be 22 priority seats. All right, so on that one, the division wasn't that bad, but you had to understand that they were looking for the leftover remainder for your answer. All right, so remember, if you got stuck, you can go back and rewatch any part in this video to help you understand it. But you're done, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.